Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the Ottawa Muslim Association, meeting our pioneers. Today OMA has one of its greatest pioneers with it, Brother Misbah. How are you doing today? Alhamdulillah. Brother Misbah has a lot of history that comes with the OMA. I'm not going to take the spotlight, I'm going to let him translate or try to project what he saw and what he did through the years and years of his support and commitment to the OMA. Brother Misbah, I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and inshallah ta'ala we're able to understand what you gave to the OMA, how you supported the OMA. In a nutshell, Brother Misbah, how was your early ages when you first came to Canada? How did you get engaged into the masjid? What was your first big role? Fajazakallah khair, brother.
Thank you, Brother Muhammad. It's my privilege to appear here. I came to Canada first time in 1959 from Bangalore, India, originally. And I come from a very spiritual family.
Okay.
My great-great-grandfather was Imam and spiritual guide to Tipu Sultan. Was a very famous king and who was martyred fighting several wars against British. And after his demise, my great-grandfather Sayyid Abdul Samad Khadri left and established a mosque, and 28 miles from Bangalore, named it as Shamshirabad. Then this place became close pit after General Close, and then it became Ramanagaram in 1947.
Okay.
And now it is a suburb of Bangalore. I got my graduate studies in metallurgy from Bangalore, and then in 63, from 1959 to 63, I did my postgraduate work here.
Here in Canada.
In Canada.
Yes.
And then I came to Ottawa in 63 as a postdoctorate fellow of the National Research Council. Mm-hmm. After that, I spent another nearly 30 years as a research scientist with Government of Canada Laboratories, and also as scientist emeritus for another 2 years. And I was I was a visiting scientist to Fritz Haber Institute, Max Planck, sent by the Government of Canada, and I was also held good positions as a Canadian representative to the International Energy Agency for 6 years, and I did my, in addition to my scientific work with the government, I did a lot of, I had the opportunity to work for the community, particularly for the mosque.
MashaAllah.
And it was Khalid Chowdhury, Brother Khalid Chowdhury, who started first the construction of the mosque. The architect was Asad from Pakistan, and he was, he had a beautiful structure, architecture and the art, Turkish art, but he did not know how to build us in Canadian weather.
Okay.
So we had problems from that point of view.
That was
right from the beginning.
The first design.
Yeah, about the insulation of the dome and about the windows, and we still have the problems coming from the dome.
Okay.
Because Canadian weather is totally different from tropical weather.
Yes.
So what happened, Khalid Chowdhury, when we got quotations, it was $450 to $500,000, and we had only 150,000. And Khalid Chowdhury said, we will manage ourselves because we cannot give it to a general contractor with this money, nobody will accept it. So we started on our own. So I got introduced to Dr. Farid Ahmed.
Yes.
He was working at NRC as a scientist, and when I was still a postdoctorate fellow, I got introduced to him in 1966 or 67 or so.
Wow.
Okay. Because I started in Ottawa in 1963. From then on, I was hooked. Farid Ahmed got me involved in this. From there on up to the recent times, I've been with this.
You've been hooked on OMA.
Yes. So after Khalid Chaudhry finished the basement and everything, some electrical work, he gave up. He said, it's impossible to manage our own. I'm an engineer. I can't do this.
Okay.
And at that time, and he said, we will just do it on asphalt, cover it, the top asphalt and pray downstairs. We were all laughing. The city is not going to allow you to pray in the dungeon basement. Then the general body was called, and at that time, you see, I will just narrate a few episodes, you see, which were turning points in the history of this mosque.
Okay.
See. And Qasim Mahmood, general body meeting was called, and Qasim Mahmood came and presented a reason why this mosque should be abandoned, this project whole should be abandoned after spending $125,000. He said it should be abandoned, we should go and buy it somewhere else, you see. And Khalid Chaudhry was in the meeting. He did not even get vote of thanks approved. That means to say, whatever Qasim Mahmood is presenting, say it will be approved by the general body.
Yes.
So myself and a few of our friends, Sultan Khan and other people, young people were sitting, we were thinking, worried, what are you going to do if the general body abandons this? It will be a total disaster.
Oh my God.
And then at that time, we were thinking of quitting. You won't believe what happened. I'm telling you the truth. Not any exaggeration. Together with Qasim Mahmood is Salah Usman, a real healthy wrestler, standing like a bodyguard with him.
Okay.
And then we were thinking what to do. We were worried, and all of a sudden he collapsed on the stage itself. He collapsed.
The gentleman that was with Qasim Mahmood.
No, not Qasim Mahmood.
The gentleman that was with him.
Who was with him,
Yes.
was standing with us, supporting him. He collapsed. And I don't know what it was, heart attack or something. Then at that time, Dr. Usman there in Italy, the meeting was dropped. I mean, the general body meeting suspended, no resolution took place. And then all our young fellows, I will give you some names later, see, we approached the board and said, look, general body has already passed. Why are they holding general body again? Now this happened, Khalid Chaudhry may go, but we will take over and do all the work of ourselves.
Okay.
And Khalid Chaudhry said, I'm an engineer, these are scientists, how are they going to do it? We somehow convinced, and after that took over the work completely. That was the turning point. And this mosque had to be built here, in this place. That was the destiny. There's one turning point. The second turning point, I will tell you. You see, Farid Ahmed, myself, the people who were after Khalid Chaudhry, Zafar Rana is the city engineer, Azhar Ali Khan, Sultan Khan, Mukhtar Malik, Iqbal Siddiq, Dr. Iqbal Siddiqui, Naeem Malik, Qasim Ahmed Salah, Usman Hussain Gobad, Dr. Bechko Salah, Ghadban family,
Yes.
and most of the Arab families were also involved. We, a core of people,
That took the
only a
initiative.
few people were in charge of the construction. You see, rest of them were Farida, like Siddiqui and Azhar Ali Khan and so forth. They were in the management. We didn't go into management.
You guys were the project people.
Just project management. That was the main job, work. There was nothing else except holding dinners and waiting.
So how was your involvement in the project? Like, what were you doing?
You see, we were hiring contractors, we were managing, we were the managers and everything. You see, after that, work started like anything. And so in the middle of the work, I already told you, we were so short of funds, you see. All the masonry work outside, inside, everything was done. $20,000 costed the masonry work. We didn't have any funds left. And then Sultan Khan said, I'm going to sell my house and mortgage my house to get it. You won't believe it, just at that time, there is a $20,000 check came from Saudi Arabia to pay for the whole thing.
Saudi Arabia.
Our belief was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide the funds if this mosque is to be built.
Subhanallah.
So if you do not start, as you said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you if you help yourself.
Yes.
That's what we said, and we continue. And that's what continuously, it was so bad sometimes, we didn't have a crane to, I told you already, we didn't have crane to hoist the
windows, the
no,
frames,
the arch, the arch support.
Yes.
For making the windows. We used to work until 11 o'clock to do it, and when we were hoisting, taking off the arch support, you see, 2 or 3 people could have been killed on that day. It was so bad because we could not afford for a crane. We didn't have. You see, I used to go bring all the doors, heavy doors on my car top to install. And then it was, at that time, somehow I just tied the farm work with the rope, and that prevented from fatal accidents. And I was knocked down with injuries on the floor. I had gashed I was bleeding at the floor, and I was taken to the hospital at 5 stitches. And that was the situation on which we believed and worked. Halfway, what happened, Farid Ahmed, we figured things were going very bad because we were managing. Farid Ahmed was, we used to respect Farid Ahmed. He was the one right from the beginning who formed the association. He was the father of the association. I mean, we used to respect. But then I rebelled. I had to rebel against him because he was so busy over there, and he could not, at NRC secretary, he could not handle this, and things were very bad. The dome was installed but was not covered, wooden dome, was not covered. All the windows were done, all the others were done, but they were not covered with, and then the water will go expand, everything will stop smoothly. Smoothly, every contractor fell for the beautiful mosque. They wanted to do the work.
Oh, subhanallah.
They wanted to do the work. They saw the people,
Yes.
And everything, electrical work, everything had to be redone. This electrical system was very badly done. Technically, it was bad. It had to be redone again. I had to take care of it. And this was, it was designed, all the electrical lighting system was done by one of the top experts who in Pakistan got the award for designing Jinnah's. He was one of the top lighting. After that, 77, I think 76 or 77, 1977, after nearly 8, 10 years, you see, I took probably one year, and we got the building permit. Everything was finished. We got the building permit on Eid Miladun. We celebrated on the same day Eid Miladun Nabi here. That was the beginning of the main hall mosque. You see, we got the building permit. You could occupy. We celebrate. And on the same month, within 15 days, I left. I got a huge opportunity to go as visiting scientist, all paid by the government as a visiting scientist to Misbah Institute of Max Planck Gesellschaft in Berlin. I worked in a place where Einstein used to work at the Misbah Institute.
Okay.
I worked for one academic year, and then I was still corresponding with this, how the minority is going and so forth. After I came back, the whole thing was badly handled. So I had to start the minaret again, and put Jabbar Khan, who was one of the top our own structural engineers, hall saal engineers, and the contract was given to Central Precast, one of the biggest fabricator here in Ottawa, and the hall saal, we put hall saal engineers, structural engineers. Hall saal engineers were Mr. Malhotra, who, and Jabbar Khan. Malhotra was the now president of this building, and I do appreciate for her. And later she became president of the Women Auxiliary of the Ottawa Muslim Association, and I have written a poetry.
Subhanallah.
This was the turning points, and you see, this mosque had to be built in this place, and you can see the importance of this. And
you guys.
So after that, I was responsible also for signing for the parking lot.
Yes.
And until I finished last time when I was there in chairman of the Council of Trustees in 2014 started, this paving, everything was finished, and we started negotiating with the church people to get the to get the church.
Yes.
And we got the church, and we got renovated and named it as Hall of Peace.
Hall of Peace, yes.
And how we got Hall of Peace is a mystery, because we had only $700,000, and the deal was for $1.45 million.
Okay.
So they wanted security collateral. Where do you give the security? Now, a few years back, about almost 15 years back, I had transferred from my own holdings. You see, I had transferred 5 acres of land in Marblou for $40,000 to OMA, and it costed $55,000, but I collected $15,000 from my partners there, conservation, and thus far was transferred to OMA, registered in the name of OMA on Marblou land. That Marblou land now, which OMA paid only $40,000, it costs now, it is worth at least $1.5 million. And that land was given as a security to buy the church, because the church couldn't have been bought by, we cannot mortgage the mosque.
Yes.
They asked, said, we cannot accept, we will give you $700,000 mortgage, but we want security. So we cannot give mosque for the security.
Okay.
So where did
the security come from? The piece of land.
And now you are paying every month, paying that mortgage with them. And then we spent another $200,000,
Brother,
almost $200,000. I got the contractor, everything done, wrote the contractor. I was again managing until the whole thing was finished.
Complete.
Brother
Misbah, through the stories you have told me, there's a lot of ups and downs, negative, but there was always a positive outcome. And you guys did a lot for the Ummah, building the masjid, being on top of things. Like you had mentioned, being late. And Jazakallah khair, you mentioned about your wife also. Those are also our pioneers in the background that help us continue.
But that was with respect.
With respect.
But we had to
Because
do
you
it,
wanted the best of
convince
this
them,
for the masjid.
and we cooperated, we agreed upon, came upon an agreeable, respectful formula and worked on it. We did not fight apart and
Yes.
so on.
Brother Misbah, in 1 minute, what is your message? What advice do you have for the generation that's coming after you? What do you want to tell us?
What I want to tell us is that we should not isolate ourselves, and we should not project Islam as so Quran represents, as far as I understand, a concise final form of revelations. And it has all the features of the other, important. The original messages, not polluted by human. The original revelations.
So we should follow the Quran.
Is there Bible, Torah, and all the other books that we believe?
Yes.
You see, the original revelations, are all in the Quran. Without any manipulation, without any addition, and in the purest form. And some of the most important scientific facts have been simply stated with simple words very accurately, and so that even an ordinary person, if he follows Quran, will be, it can be a good Muslim to understand Quran. And I say the tabligh has to be done according to the level of the person. If he is an educated class,
Education level.
at their higher level, not at their. Or for the ordinary people, you cannot speak in.
Yes.
For the children, you can.
You have to come
once
down to
you
their
are
level.
in the high school and so forth,
Yes.
you have to teach them logically, scientifically, and also rationalistically, but and the explaining, understanding
Yes.
Quran. The simple statements, there's so much of science involved in it.
Yes.
And I hope to write a book because
Inshallah ta'ala.
I wanted to present here, but once the COVID started, so I could not do so.
Brother.
So that is why I'm writing the book. It became very much essential that I should write a book. I hope my remaining within my lifetime, I can lifetime that are left, I can finish that book. That book I have covered Quran, interpreted Quran on the basis of scientific natural laws.
Inshallah ta'ala.
And it is
Brother Misbah,
important that
Jazakumullah khair for coming. Jazakumullah for accepting our invitation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for what you have done, for what you have brought this masjid to. In times where no one wanted to take initiative and you were there to take it, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, your wife, your family, and all the time that you contributed to the masjid and to the Muslim Ummah. There's nothing we can give you today that will thank you as much as just say thank you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. And we're going to keep the reward on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And once again, thank you very much for accepting that. Thank you everyone, and thank you for being with us, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Today we had with us our brother Misbah, and he was one of our very, very heavy weighted pioneers that had a lot of weight on his shoulders for this envelope to be here, this masjid, for the minaret, the dome. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward him. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless him. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him until he is satisfied on the day of judgment, bi'iznillahi ta'ala. Everyone, thank you very much for being with us. My name is Muhammad Adi. This is your masjid, the Ottawa Muslim Association, meeting with our pioneers. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
You
with
don't
Brother
know, I
Misbah.
didn't tell you the story.
Jazakumullah
about how
khair.
my family was saved.
We're gonna have to leave it
Total
off,
annihilation.
offline,
You have
inshallah.
heard of Air India?
Inshallah, we will talk about it offline, inshallah ta'ala.
They have taken lots.
Jazakumullah khair.
See, I was not, is the age factor or so. I'm not too fluent. Sometimes my words do not come very well. I tried my best.
No, brother, Jazakumullah khair. I just want to thank you. I want to thank our audience that are with us
I just told
today.
you from memory.
Yes. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
So
I want to thank you.